There's a lot of Kickstarters launching this season, including today's sponsor, the Book of Spirits. Created by Beyond the Screen, this book launches you into the spirit plane and gives you everything you need to survive, explore, and encounter the most literal monsters I've ever seen. This book knows what it is and what it offers, which means everything built is deliberate and complete. From the monsters like the Rage Spirit or the Dazzler, to the resonance system that brings mechanics to characters' emotions, what you see is what you get, and it's all amazing. The core focus seems to be on bringing role-playing closer to the flow of the game, where how the characters feel and act can be more important and more impactful than doing a critical hit. Over 50 creatures, a bunch of minor effects, subclasses, a new class, adventures, I mean, it's just got everything you could ever ask for. It's kind of inspiring. Click that link down below, and if you can, ideas like this deserve some support. It also helps me out, but I made this video, so please don't reconsider. Enormously powerful, dangerous creatures that command the flow of magic around them come in countless shapes and forms. And oftentimes, the older they are, the more powerful they are. Ancient lords from the abyss, angelic guardians of long-forgotten magics, undying serpents with knowledge that rivals grand libraries. But among the least expected and most unpredictable casters the Forgotten Realm suffers the influence of are the Jars. There is a high-level spell, so common for its level that it's listed in the core rulebook, that is accessible only to wizards, called Magic Jar. To put it simply, you put your soul in a jar. While inside, you can jump out to suddenly possess any nearby creature. The spell's existence begs the question, why would you pick this? With access to level 6 spells, you have a lot of options, like the freedom to open up magical doors to anywhere, gain ultimate true sight, conjure powerful undead servants, angelic servants, devilish best friends, or turn your enemies to stone in an instant. But instead of all that, these guys choose to become jars in waiting. What makes this spell so interesting to me is that you relinquish so much power when you cast it, and there are a lot of risks involved. As a jar, you don't age, but your body becomes catatonic until it dies naturally. And you can't do anything while you're a jar but look at the stuff that you can see. You can't even project your soul 5 feet from yourself to read a book or something. You have to wait for someone to come along. And if the jar gets moved, you can't really do anything about it. Just hope it doesn't break. The only power you do gain from being a jar is the ability to steal a body instantaneously, swapping your soul out of the jar with the victims and living inside of their body for as long as you want before swapping back. Here's the scenario I'm imagining that makes this so horrible. You go to the grocery store, you grab a jar of peanut butter and you grab a jar of jelly. Once you get home, you move to open it and make a sandwich. Then before you even realize it, you're looking up at yourself from the perspective of the peanut butter. Then the guy in your body drops you into a backpack, and you stay there for longer than you've been alive. These lifeless years thrust upon you, and you're comforted only by the muffled voices of your body thief and the occasional opening of the bag to retrieve an item. After you forget what time is, forget how to move a body or who you used to be, the bag finally opens for a last time. You see an old version of yourself smiling softly as they pull out the jar and put it back on the store shelf. And then, you're back. You fall over, not knowing how to move your legs, and the paramedics come as you try to form words, attempting to warn people about that peanut butter, but you're carried away to your final months alive, watching as another victim grabs the peanut butter.
Anybody that knows me knows I've been eating chips since I was a kid.
The horror of this comes from the question, what kind of person turns themselves into a pickle? Jar. And is happy to just wait for unknowable amounts of time before they can find the right victim. After some time, wouldn't they identify as a jar? This is probably the least practical, one of the cruelest, and oddly most diverse forms of undeath. As long as the jar is safe, and you're good at knowing when to give back a body, you can live 100 lifetimes, in 100 bodies, benefiting from any strength or skill those bodies have without earning them. If I were one of these sick bastards, I'd have a little setup where I steal a body for 20 years, and then take myself and a friend to the mouth of a volcano. I hand them the jar, saying my life is complete, and begging them to take care of my most prized possession. pun intended, before jumping off and swapping souls. They'd just fall for the next 6 seconds of life that I grant them, screaming as I use my jar powers to possess the guy that I brought up here. The cool thing about this spell is whoever you target to possess has to beat a charisma saving throw. And since you retain your wit, charm, and knowledge, you can try to pick dumb, uncharismatic brutes, making it easier to steal stronger bodies and rounding out all of your stats. I would say, well, there you have it. Now go make a villain or something, but don't do that. Your players don't deserve this, D&D didn't really deserve this spell, and if you come across it as a player, dispel it. Destroy the scroll, don't learn it, you will lose your humanity and all track of time before you recognize what you're truly becoming. An evil jar of peanut butter. Also, I have to credit my good, incredibly clever creator friend, Fallen Monk D20. But there's an even darker fate that could befall a victim of this spell. I won't tell you directly, but to prepare for this unholy dark magic, you'll need a My Little Pony Rainbow Dash toy and a Radiator. Just know that at some D&D table with dudes in their mid-40s, there's a wizard with this very special jar close to his heart. I'm gonna go throw up, I'm sorry, that shouldn't have been at the end of the video. I had a good enough horror story tucked in there already. Blame this guy, here's his TikTok.